right, we are live. We are live, and I'm coming at you with 5. Good afternoon, or good morning, rather, on this beautiful Sunday morning here in New Orleans. I hope wherever you are, whoever you are, you're having a lovely day. I know it's been a very tough weekend in the last 24 hours, what everyone's been dealing with. We're going to try and get more people in the chat room, so give us about a minute before I really start into this. So give me a few. Okay, we got 2 people in the chat room. Come on, say something in the chat box if you're here. Thank you for joining me. Come on in. Let's see. We're going to try and get more people in. Let me send this link out. Let everybody know that I'm live today. Hold on a second. Is it about guns or is it something into the chat room? Guys, just give me a minute. Okay. Now, unless you are, or you've been living under a rock, of course, most of you know or already know about the shootings that have occurred in El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio, respectively, within not even 24 hours of each other on the same day and Saturday. I believe over 20 people in El Paso, Texas were killed. 20 plus others were injured. And let's see, I'm actually just going to look at least 20 dead. And of course, the suspect was taken into custody. This coward, this low-life white supremacist. I've been looking at some of the things that he's been saying, and there's a video of him. I don't know if this is whether it was staged or not, but him shooting I believe this was him. I couldn't tell from the video. It looked like him, of him shooting a Nike box and with a rifle. I'm sorry, not a rifle, a shotgun, and claiming about how he hated niggas. So, well, where he's going, obviously, if he's found guilty and he's facing capital murder charges, he'll be surrounded by nothing but that. And apparently he might even get the death penalty. What's going on, Regina? You know, he's facing capital murder charges. Now, of course, he was taken into custody by the police without injury. He was allowed to surrender and turn himself in. And he went on a rampage. Now, what is interesting from what I have heard, seen preliminary videos, and remember, I even said a fat shill. I tell you what, you get your ass off of my chat. How's that? You'd kick my fat ass, really? Well, you the one with the gorilla avatar, so what the fuck you look like, monkey? Your mama. Get out of here. Get. Trying to block him. It's all right. I got rid of him. I reported his ass. Now, what I was saying was, before I was interrupted, the El Paso, yes, you've had two shootings, mass shootings in El Paso. And what I originally heard from videos that I've looked at, from interviews with people that were there at the Walmart as well as at the mall, was that the shooter supposedly was was not the only person there. I've heard reports of multiple shooters being there. And keep in mind, I even heard this about remember, we saw this about the Las Vegas shooting a few years ago. It was in 2017 when this man was shooting from his hotel room, and everybody thought they saw multiple gun flashes coming from different areas. And even the police later on stated that there could have been someone that was assisting him. And for him to do that so effectively just leaves me questions about certain things. So I have been back and forth with people over this, and as well as people talking about another thing that happened was the Dayton, Ohio shooter, and that shooting that took place. And so now, and apparently 26 more were injured. Now, many people think there's a right and wrong way, right way to do this. And the right way is to just go ahead and ban all of your guns. Ban all, well, more specifically, banning so-called assault style weapons. And my only thing with that is that most people, I don't even think, know the difference between what is an assault rifle and what is a 12 gauge shotgun, what is how to even use or fire guns. And first and foremost, when you talk about assault weapons, every weapon can assault you. A knife can assault you. A bat can assault you. It's not about what the instrument is. It's the means of the person. Hell, a car can assault you. It just depends on, the circumstances and on that day. Now, do I think every person who is responsible? And certainly there should be people who have mental health issues, people who have, criminal history. I don't think that necessarily is going to solve anything. What we have failed to do, and I put this in my description, is really talk about the moral and societal decadence that has happened in this country. What has caused, and what I believe, many of these things to happen, whether it's shootings on college campuses, I don't care if you're talking about shootings, I don't care if you're talking about shootings in church. Remember the shooter at the Virginia Tech College. Remember the Virginia Tech shooting. The killer in that instance used a handgun, and he killed over 20-something people. Let's look at that right quick. Let me put the article for you. Remember, that was big back in 2006, if I'm not mistaken. Pistol and a Walter P. 22 pistol, excuse me. Walter 22 pistol. These are handguns. And it's not that hard to use a handgun if you want to kill multiple people. To load it, all you do is preload your clips. And when you're finished with your 6 rounds, or if you have an extended magazine, some extended magazines may carry 15 rounds or 12, just depending on the gun. It's dump and dump. That's it. That's it. It's not hard. 33 people were killed with 2 handguns. Think about that. So should I ban that? Or better yet, what if these killers use the 12 gauge shotgun, which in all truthfulness and honesty can be just as deadly or effective as an AR-15 rifle? A 12 gauge shotgun can cause a lot of damage, especially if you have multiple people around, because as you know, a shotgun does not shoot bullets as in one bullet. It shoots buckshots. And of course, a buckshot coming at you at the speed of over, oh, let's say, force was it speed is velocity was force times mass, if I'm not mistaken. But let's just say 125 miles. I'm just guessing, but you're throwing something over 150 miles per hour, or shooting something that with that much force and that much power, you can kill someone. Now, I'm not the gun expert, and I don't know exactly, how much it would take to shoot, or how long it would take to shoot something, what exactly is the precise speed of it, and so forth. But I think you understand the point that I'm making is that we have witnessing is that this is a problem that is much more deeper than just assault weapons. Now, when you use the term an assault weapon or automatic rifle, those things, automatic weapons, those things, number one, are very, very hard to get. They do not come easily. They're not easily accessible. Uh, they cost a lot of money. They, um, aside from costing a lot of money to get, they also are not things that you would buy, obviously, at a Walmart or even an Academy Sports Goods. They don't sell automatic weapons. Those are, in fact, illegal. And of course, you have to have what's called, I believe, either a Class 3 license in which to get those, or sometimes, especially, I believe before 1983, when Ronald Reagan signed the National Firearms Act, that prevented the manufacturing of guns further from anything made after that act. What that means is anything made prior had to be grandfathered in. So you did not have, uh, you don't see Tommy guns, for instance. You're not going to see a Tommy gun being sold at a Walmart. You're not going to see that being sold at a Bowie Outfitters or a Cabela's or a Bass Pro Shop, wherever. Now, excuse me one second, guys. So I've been going back and forth with people who apparently don't know the difference between what an assault weapon actually is. But an assault weapon, by definition, of firearms. The definition varies among regulated jurisdictions, but usually includes semi-automatic rifles with a detachable magazine and pistol grip, and sometimes other features such as a vertical forward grip, flash suppressor, or barrel shroud. Now, a semi-automatic rifle, which is what you will find is what is an AR-15, which is a gun that I even have, fires one round per pull of the trigger. A pistol that you may own fires one round with the squeeze of the trigger. An automatic, obviously, is when you're holding the trigger down and the magazine and the bullets just keep flying. Wait, do you support the in here said I supported the students? What the hell are you in that for? What type of question is that? We're talking about guns. We're not talking about shootings. So I'm talking not even about guns. Some people just, I'm gonna ignore that. Anyway, I'm just giving you what the definition of what an automatic rifle and a semi-automatic weapon is. Now, how do we deal? But why would I? But W. Smith, why would you think I would say I support the shootings? What type of fucking question is that? I see if you just got here, but what would you say? All right. Okay. What I'm saying to you, for those that are just joining, we have, I believe, a moral decadence situation in America. I just searched it and you came up. All right. Well, you just joined. Okay. Well, I didn't say that I support. You coming with foolishness though. Why would you say why don't you just ask what the topic is about? It's not about, I would never support something where innocent people are getting killed. No person in their right mind would support something like that. But let me be clear, and let me be clear what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is that People, please, before you go, I typed who supports the shootings. Well, this doesn't say support. My headline doesn't say support the shootings, so I don't know why that would come up. I was talking about the shootings and I'm talking about guns, but okay, you're sorry. All right, that's the end of it. We're good. So you can't Google everything. Yes, thank you, Squeaky. Squeaky is in the building. All right. I'm getting sidetracked. All right, y'all stop. Okay, we're good, W. Smith. So what I'm talking about, though, specifically, I want everyone to be gun educated before we get on an emotional basis. Before we get, as we are emotional right now, understandably, when we see headlines about mass shootings, I want you all to be educated still before you give up your rights and before you say, let's ban this particular gun, let's ban these weapons, nobody should have this. Why don't you do research? Let us all do research and see what the problem is. And see, really, if we ban something like this, ban assault weapons, do you really believe it's going to stop mass shootings? If Timothy McVeigh, and I have my doubts that I have my doubts that McVeigh did that alone himself, and even the weapon of choice, which was ammonium nitrate used in cow manure, blew up that building in Oklahoma and killed hundreds of people. You know, if they couldn't ban those products that you could get at a Lowe's or Home Depot, how can banning an assault weapon stop or limit the amount of people that die in one school? Do we care about mass shootings, or do we care about murder? What do we care about shootings in general? Do we care about shootings that involve just white children, or do we care about the crime that goes on in the inner city, the murdering of young black youth? Because honestly, laws really don't change until, and people don't even start talking until it affects young white children. Not to say that all lives don't matter. Of course they matter. Now, what I also want to suggest when we're thinking about being gun educated is you also look at what happens when police respond to shootings, and understand that when the key word in that, respond, not prevent. Okay, they do not prevent mass shootings. They don't prevent crime in general. They respond to that when you call 911. So if you are at home and an intruder breaks into your house, yeah, you can call 911, but will the police get there? And they're in time, and I doubt it. There is case law that law enforcement cannot be sued if you call 911 and they don't respond to you in time. They have no duty necessarily to protect you. Of course, they have a duty to the public, and they are sworn to uphold the law. They are sworn to protect the Constitution, but we know from the videos that police officers do not do that all the time. They're human. They are human beings, and they will not respond in time. I'll never forget, if it's not an emergency, if it's not a rush, life or death, they don't come all the time that quickly. I've had, especially here in New Orleans, if you have your car broken into and you wait on the police don't respond instantly. And that's happened. People who have waited for the police after their cars are reported broken and stolen. Of course, if it's not, as I said again, life or death, they're not going to respond instantly. They feel they are losing control of their country and don't want to compete with other races. Yeah, that's good. Another thing, too, is this. Some of the nations, like if you look at Mexico, for instance, they have one of the most stringent gun laws, gun restrictions in the world. If you are a law enforcement, and even in the Constitution of Mexico, where they say the right to bear arms is a fundamental right, there are months and months of background checks that a homeowner would have to do, and also paperwork that would have to be filled out before they can get access to a gun in the home. And Mexico has some of the highest murder rates in the world. In fact, if you look at this entitled Mexico Murder Rate Spirals Out of Control, Hitting 94 Killings a Day. Mexico saw a record number of murders in the first 6 months of the year, with an average 94 killings each day, according to the Mexico News Daily. News outlets citing figures from the Secretariat of Security and Citizens Protection noted that June saw the most of murders of any month on record, with more than 3,000 people killed. Wow. Now, very interesting, some of the people that were injured in the El Paso shooting apparently were nationals from Mexico that I was looking at. I was reading that the president of Mexico had even tweeted out that. Now, let's see. See, I'm getting a lot of people who are going to comment and disagree with my post. I'm looking on Facebook right now. I see people. And even with guns, how many good guys with guns have stopped bad guys? Serious question. Okay. No, I have people that are commenting. I put a Facebook post up. I stated basically, if you don't have a firearm at home or don't know how to use one, get with the program and learn how to defend yourselves. The police aren't fast enough to respond, which is true. Now, I don't know how anybody could have a problem with that, because you are responsible for your own defense, period. You are responsible for protecting your home and your persons. Now, a law-abiding citizen, when they are ordered by, their government, when they're ordered by their city, their laws, then they follow them, and their laws tell them that you can't bring a gun within a certain area of feet. For instance, even if you have a concealed carry, there are some places where I still couldn't bring my firearm. You couldn't bring your firearm, obviously, in church, unless you have some type of training, and you also have to talk with the pastor or priest about it. Same thing with bringing it in a courtroom. Obviously, it's not welcome there, but you do have police presence that's there in the courthouse. And there's an actual loophole around it. I believe in Louisiana, if you have a judge that has a concealed carry and has a firearm, you're allowed to bring it in. It's Louisiana, guys. So, my colleague asks, in a nation filled with guns, how many good guys with guns have stopped bad guys with guns? Serious question. And I responded, do the bad guys keep their guns at home like the good guys with guns who obey the law and and require them to keep it off their person in certain areas. That's a serious question as well. So, and that's true because I couldn't bring it at any time. Now, does that necessarily mean, this guy in Ohio had body armor on, and would a Glock 9mm stop him if you're shooting at him center mass? Probably not. Um, would you be able to stop someone who, is obviously dressed up in military fatigue and has, he's armed to the teeth, and he has not only body armor on. Let's say if you saw the last John Wick movie, they come in prepared like that, where they have the helmet is secured. They can't shoot them in the head like John Wick was having trouble with. Of course, that's much more difficult. But you would like to think that the playing field, though, is a little bit even when these things happen. That if someone's not like that, let's just say they are bringing a handgun in with them, and they, like this Virginia Tech shooter, I don't know if he had armor on, but I would like to think that if someone had a gun there, or if security was, and let's be realistic, security and police are not there all the time. They're not there immediately to stop the threat. As I said again, they respond. But you would like to think someone would be there instantly to stop them before anyone else gets hurt. And of course, it just depends on the circumstances. Every circumstance is different. I'm not from the United States, but it's so simple to have a gun in the United States. Well, there are part of our Constitution, state in our Constitution, in our Second Amendment, it clearly states that the right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed, and that is a fundamental right that we've had in our Bill of Rights. Let me read the exact Second Amendment to you. It states that a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, the reason why we have the Second Amendment, even if they didn't mean it for us, right? If they didn't mean it for GavinRichard, they didn't mean it for blacks at that time. And by the way, did many of you know that the earliest gun control laws were put in place to keep African Americans from owning firearms? That's actual fact. If you go look at it, at the earliest black codes and the slave laws, they would have laws that would prevent blacks from even owning clubs, bats, batons. If you assaulted a white man and beat them up, even if it were in self-defense, you would still be prosecuted. Of course, slaves were not considered citizens, but you would still be put to death. That's what they did to black people. And in many ways nowadays, because of course they can't just do that now, but they get around it with all of these police shootings. They find ways to make the victim the villain in the whole story. So, and yes, in Louisiana, you can open carry. There are different states that allow it, especially if you're in the South Republican. And look, we should be looking, as I say it again, there are groups you can join. There's black gun owners associations. There are black gun clubs. If you don't want to join the NRA, that allow you to carry firearms, allow you to practice your Second Amendment rights. You say yes, they need to change. Well, OG Flax, where are you from? It's not going to change. America was founded on violence. You're not going to change. You can put any law in place. When a madman decides he's going to take someone's life, I don't care if he's doing it with a firearm or with a bomb, they're going to do it. You're from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is part of United States. Is part of the United States. It is United States territory. I don't know what restrictions you have over there. They say you're not from the United States, it's U.S. territory, but it's really Sabu. Well, I must be getting real popular, guys, because this is the largest, longest chat that I've had in a while, in a long before, and I've gotten more comments from anybody. So I guess I'm doing pretty good. And obviously, if I'm getting spam and I'm getting hate messages, then I'm pissing the right people off, and I'm doing well for myself, so I can't complain. So I'm just going to be watching the news right now, and everybody should just be watching what's been going on because a lot. I don't know what it because I, I something definitely is happening right now, and I can just imagine. Thank you, Regina. I enjoy you being on here. I enjoy all my people, all the people that are on here that watch my channel. I want to say thank you again. I enjoy talking to you all and discussing things, even if we don't agree with it, and that's fine. We don't have to agree with everything, but be respectful. I'm still on. I'm just actually just looking up stuff. I'm communicating with people. Hold on a second. Okay. Nikia says, understand that all black folks are not criminals and they should promptly practice their Second Amendment rights if you value the right to you, the right to you and your loved one's safety. Yes, I agree with that. Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with owning an AR-15. In my opinion, a pistol. You should have any guns as you want. If the police, because if you think about this, in a country that values freedom and liberty, and when those rights were enacted in the Constitution, when those were passed in the Bill of Rights, that was after America fought a major war. And they realized there may be a time that American citizens would have to protect themselves from tyrannical forces in government. Why? Because we just fought a tyrant from England. That's why. So that's why there is a Second Amendment. Now, the right to bear arms is also a right not to exercise it. If you choose not to buy a gun, if you choose that you don't, to the fact that you don't think you, if you choose to believe the fact that you don't need an AR-15 to also do that, you have a right, and that also means the right to remain silent. So you don't have to agree with everything I say, and you don't have to buy a firearm. But I'm telling you, and what I suggest is that all of us start learning and going to a shooting range. Speak with these firearm instructors. Get a concealed carry permit. There's nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong with that either. If you want to learn about guns, look up gun safety, how to clean guns, child safety locks that you could have. Learn also another thing too, even for self-defense class. If you don't want to buy a gun, look up taking karate lessons. Not that necessarily it's going to stop a mass shooter, but learn how to protect yourself. The people, ladies, especially if you work at nights, especially when you're coming in a parking garage. I know that they don't allow you on hospitals to bring, a firearm weapons in and guns and knives and so forth. However, that may even be a better reason why you should take karate lessons. Or that's good, sister. You have Regina's got a license to carry. Yeah, or bring mace. That's another thing. Just learn how to protect yourself, because remember, you can call 911. All it does is keep a record of an incident that occurs. When the police come, when there's a shooting, and yes, if there's an active shooter, they can take that person out, just like we've seen before. But sometimes the police, they put themselves on the line when they do that. And I respect police officers that truly and figuratively believe in their duties and are out there trying to actually protect citizens. Of course, we got bullies on those forces as well. What's your question, OG? Because I'm about to get off on here. OG, what's your question? Because I got to get out of here. Sorry, I'm back and forth, guys, because I'm on my, Facebook. And of course, when I comment and I post things, some people are responding. Some saying, I got one of my friends saying, please do not encourage this. Nothing good will come. I said, well, how is learning to protect yourself not good? When you learn and become be educated about these things, it makes you aware and well-rounded. And I got more likes on this than anything. So apparently I'm saying something good, you know. And people, you're like, again, you're free to disagree with me. I don't care. I don't care. Uh, well, I'm just keep monitoring this situation, guys. But I do believe that there is an attempt, and people may not believe this or not, where they do, and by they I mean people in power, they do not want American citizens to exercise their Second Amendment rights. I do believe that there is an attempt to try and disband firearms from the American people. I do think that there are forces out there like that. Now, people may think I'm a kook for saying that, but the things that I have seen in this nation, in this country, the last 20 years, looking at 9/11 and how that situation unfolded, looking at what happened during Katrina, also looking at the fact that we have given, through the Patriot Act, we have given up more of our rights, yeah, especially Black Americans, more of our rights and restrictions in order to so-called feel safe. But are we truly safe? And I believe that that was done, to limit Americans, especially with the Patriot Act. It impacts on our Fourth Amendment. Test of having a weapon. They do a mental exam. I don't understand that. Are you asking, do they do a mental exam when you want to buy a weapon? There's no test on a person because that, would of course be, there's no test on a concealed carry. That's correct. What happens is that you undergo several hours of training. And of course, you complete this course. It lasts practically all day. And when you go to the state, like in Louisiana, and you want to register for concealed carry, you have to take that certificate that you took all of those hours and you upload it. And then the state's going to ask you some questions. Of course, they're going to ask you, do you have a criminal history? They ask you about whether you've battled depression or have been in a mental hospital. Have you ever been found unfit in a court of law, which would be like an addiction proceeding? They don't do that in Indiana. Okay, well, Louisiana, we have to go through. We can upload ours online, and they'll ask you those questions. And of course, if there are issues about your mental health, if you state yes, you've had depression, they may hold off on giving you a concealed carry permit now until they get more information. Now, they also do a background check. Yes, I know when you apply for a job, per se, they go with the state police here in Louisiana. They'll fingerprint you. Now, this is not a concealed carry issue. You don't get fingerprinted, but when you apply for jobs, like when I applied for the bar, I had to go through a background check to become a lawyer, and for character and fitness. And they fingerprinted me. When you want to do expungements, they fingerprint you. You got to go to the state police and get all of that. Yeah, in Florida and Georgia, check, fill out form, and pay the fee. Yeah, that's pretty much what they do here. And the form will indicate what your background is. You answer questions. Of course, there are people that lie. And under penalty of perjury. And of course, they don't really prosecute it because how do you know if that person's lying or not? You just don't know unless you find out later on or something like that. And criminals lie too. But that's the point. How do I defend myself and protect myself from a criminal? The criminals are not the ones that are going to obey the law, guys. I'm going to obey the law because I'm a law-abiding citizen. If they say I can't bring my gun on private property, I have to respect that. But someone that's going to rob the liquor store obviously is not going to respect the sign that says no weapons allowed. They're not going to, and that's just the truth, the nature of it. So I don't want to be a sheep being led to the slaughter by the wolf. What I want to do is be able to protect myself and my family. And I'm sure most thinking Americans, and I presume all of you on here, thinking Americans, you want to do the same thing. You want to defend your family and protect your family. Again, I'm about to wrap it up, guys. That's it for me. And just a little bit more on this shooter, Patrick Surius, I believe is his name. Apparently, I'm looking at this too. I just want to share this with you. He went to College, enrolled in 2017, in the fall of 2017, and according to the college, and was enrolled as a student until the spring of 2019, and they're cooperating with they released a statement. We are saddened and horrified by the news of the shooting today in El Paso, Texas. A student by the name of Patrick Crusius attended College from fall 2017 through spring 2019. College is prepared to cooperate fully with state and federal authorities in their investigation of this senseless tragedy. We join the governor and all Texans in expressing our heartfelt concern for the victims of the shooting and their loved ones. I don't know where College is. Is that an online class or is that somewhere based? Whoever's in Texas, because I think this guy's from Texas. Where is that at? Okay. Well, I heard that there were multiple shooters involved in this. I'm waiting to hear, of course, what the facts are. If we get anything from the news, because honestly, we don't trust the news. But this is news media. This is the media that you need to listen to. And shout out to Nicole Lewis from Nicole's View, Drew Hempkins with Drew Story News, our brother from We All Be News, Ron Hurd, Professor Black Truth, Jason Black with the Black Authority. Shout out to them. Tariq Nasheed, shout out to him. He got banned actually from going into the UK over the weekend. I thought that was crazy. But yeah, this is the new black media, guys. And, you know, I pray for the victim of this assault. And, you know, you don't ever want to see anything happen to like this again. I know people won't think it's right to just go and ban these weapons, but maybe we need to start banning certain people, you know, or maybe we need to start protecting ourselves, being armed, being more aware, so that when assholes like this come at us, we're ready for them. Just my thoughts. But that's it for me, guys. Let me get on out of here. But y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday. Yes, Regina, thank you, sister. Thank you. Please donate. I have the Google Pay app, Gavin, at my email, gavin.grich1@gmail.com. I also do Cash App, Gavin Richard Esquire. Listen, you guys subscribed. Any new people in the chat room, please subscribe. Thank y'all for joining me today. Next time, Regina, I think I'm gonna make you a mod. Hold on. There you go. We ain't gonna wait till the next time. OG Flax, yeah, thank you for being here. I know that a lot of us have questions. You know what I'm gonna have to do, guys? That I do. We're talking about guns. I'm gonna have the Judge Joe Brown, come in and talk on our channel. I think he would be great to have because he's into guns, and I think he can probably give you guys even a little more knowledge about it than I could. So, I'm gonna do that this week because we're gonna talk about that. Also, I'm looking to have some new guests on the show. You guys enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your Sunday. Please be safe. If you see anything like that, a mass shooting that happens, I take it people are not armed. Normally, those that come on this channel may or may not carry. I know, well, Regina says she carries, so you told everybody you carrying a gun. But, yeah, be safe. Call the police. You know, save lives if you can. Great broadcast. Yeah, thank you. That's it, guys. You take care. I love y'all. Peace. God bless. The shootings are fake. We'll deal with that a little bit later.